Hi, this is Anne. I'm She's Excited. Welcome to the first episode of Traveling Musician, Tokyo! So this is how I experienced it, in picture and sound.
本店拥有加纳宝、资生堂、索菲纳等各种人气产品，欢迎抢购！欢迎抢购！欢迎抢购！欢迎抢购！
So how do I work? I simply bring my laptop with Ableton Live 10 Suite. And then I travel with 2 pairs of headphones. The black ones are for the low frequencies and the white one is for the rest. Where do I work? Well, I work in coffee shops and in hotel rooms, mostly. So what's the plan of this project? Well, so I decided to take one original sound of the place that I'm in, and then I work with it and I change it into an instrument and make music with it. And then I go back to the original in the end, so that you have one storyline. This time I started with a sample that I recorded in front of a shop. It was a recorded thing. I'm painfully aware that I do not know what it means. Hopefully it's nothing embarrassing. So I recorded that, and from there I simply dragged and dropped it into an Ableton project. And this is where the work started. So I simply took the original movie snippet that I recorded with my phone, dragged and dropped it into the Ableton Live project. You can see that this is still a movie file. Right mouse click, video window, then you can also see the video. I didn't want to keep the video. You simply can highlight the clip and consolidate by Command J, and then you'll just have the audio. Okay, so it sounds like this.
专门的免税柜。
But what I wanted is I wanted this last part to be repeated as sample.
欢迎选购。
But of course I wanted it kind of in a timing of the song. It shows 111 for this one. So I cut that off. If you double click, you can see it down here in the sample view. Make sure that warp is on, the yellow thing here, and then you can warp it to the timing. You can simply, like by double click, a yellow thing comes up or goes away. And if you double click, then you can drag and drop. So basically,
欢迎选购。欢迎选购。
this is kind of what I wanted with the click.
欢迎选购。
Yeah. You can hear that in this area here, it's a little brr, robotic sound.
欢迎选购。
I wanted to keep that, but if you don't want these sounds, or if you want to fiddle around with them, below this warp thing, you have a drop-down menu. It says beat by default. If you click on it, you have different choices. Complex, Complex Pro, then the sample stays smooth.
欢迎选购。
And with tones and textures, it's what it says.
欢迎选购。欢迎选购。
Okay, but I wanted to keep the robotic thing.
欢迎选购。
Yeah, that's it. Okay, then of course you have all these noises, right? So for the repetition, I wanted a better sound, or at least like as good as it gets and as interesting as it gets. So by pressing Option and dragging it to a different audio track, I simply duplicated it. And then, of course, I put on an EQ first. So I simply took the EQ8. It's a female voice, so yeah, lower frequencies can go away anyway.
欢迎选购。欢迎选购。
But well, still tons of noises here. I can check if I get some stuff
欢迎选购。
out.
欢迎选购。欢迎选购。欢迎选购。
Isn't that nice?
欢迎选购。
But well, you can hear still tons of noises. So I chose to fiddle around with the vocoder. I took the filter bank
欢迎选购。
and then the formant on top of it.
欢迎选购。
So this is basically what I had.
欢迎选购。
That's kind of what I wanted. I think it's interesting.
欢迎选购。
And this is then what I simply copied and pasted into the song. So in the end, like this is how I started the song.
本店拥有加纳宝、资生堂、索菲娜等各种人
At
气
first
产品。欢迎选购。
Both the treated sample here and the original at the same time, and then just the treated sample. Okay. And then I wanted to go a step further and create out of this sample a kind of instrument. I chose a different part of the sample for that, this one.
加纳宝、资
So I just cut it out. And again, by pressing Option and dragging it and then letting go of Option, you simply copy it. I put it onto this effect track so that the sound is a bit better. And then I froze the track. Right mouse click on the track, and then you chose freeze track to print the sample out. Make sure that if you use reverbs or delays or anything, you always want this area that suggests that there is still effect stuff going on. You want to drag and drop that with you. Today I don't need that. Pressing down Option and holding and then letting go of Option. And now I have the sample printed out in that particular effect sound. Okay, then what is really nice in Ableton, you simply create a new MIDI track. It is Command-Shift-T, a new MIDI track. Double click on MIDI to make sure that this shows up, drop an instrument or sample here, and then you drag and drop the sample that you just created down there. So this is what happens. Like the whole thing, the whole sample, the whole audio file is in here now. You can zoom in and then you see it. If you don't want this whole shebang in here, you can also just like either crop the clip, it's right mouse click and then crop clip, or you can just click on it and consolidate again, Command J, and then it's cropped as well. So I rather have just the short clip in here in the sampler. Okay, and then with this arrow, you can indicate where you start to play the clip. So I start here. Make sure on your upper right side here, the keyboard thing is highlighted. If it's not, click it on. Then if this is highlighted, you can play on your computer keyboard. And you know that on the computer keyboard, you basically just have one octave. But by pressing Y, you can go an octave down. And by pressing X, an octave up. So you simply make sure that you highlight the recording button on the track that you want to record with, and then you record. I have a ton of delay recording buffer thingy, but that's nice. I can totally simply like correct it. And the longer the note, the more of the sample is going to be played. So in the end, that's what I had here. And then the other samples here. Go out again. And then I play with the other sample in the midst again. So you can see this is how I use it. I start with the original, then I sample a part of it, then I go into the instrument, sample things, and then I go back out. And this is how I end with basically everything, the instrument and then the original sample. Okay, so that's it. Have fun fiddling around with your samples. It's always big fun to fiddle around with samples and make something your own. Create something unique out of a sample. I really enjoy that. If you want to stay in touch, follow me on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, wherever. Or here, just subscribe to my channel. My next stop is Croatia. So I'll see you there. Bye.